Obviously we're disappointed. I thought it was two completely different halves. Um, I will say I thought the offensive execution was similar in both halves. We just did not make shots to start the second half. We went 2 for our first 18, 3 for our first 20. I thought a lot of those were pretty good looks within what we do. Not much different, to be honest with you, than the first half, where I thought we really excelled moving the ball. I think what indicates that certainly is tying the State Farm Center record for fewest turnovers in a game with 15 assists, 3 turnovers. I don't know how many times as a coach, as an assistant or head coach, if I looked at how many times we got beat when we were 15 assists to 3 turnovers, it's probably not very many. So I thought our guys played pretty unselfishly and moved the ball pretty well on that end of the floor. The 35% number for the second half is a little bit of a misnomer because we made our last 5 in a row. I certainly don't, as these guys know, I don't want to say those minutes at the end were insignificant. We come to play 40 minutes until the bell rings, but, obviously the game wasn't exactly hanging in the balance while we were making those last 5 in a row. We needed to step up and make a couple more. At the end of the day, though, our defense was not good enough. It was bad in the second half. I thought we made a lot of mistakes. I thought we did not defend the three-point line very well. I'm getting tired of saying it. The guys have got to start doing it. I thought we ran in at the ball. I thought our gap help was poor. I thought we left shooters. I just didn't think it was very good at all. And when you give up 50-some points, albeit we fouled, a little bit there at the end, maybe it would have been 45. I don't know how many times in 4 years we've given up 45 and a half. It's unacceptable. It's not good enough. These guys know that. But, at the end of the day, we obviously we play again on Saturday at 2 o'clock, and we got to get ready here the next 2 days. But, guys have got to answer the bell on the defensive end. And what was discouraging for me, or disappointing, I should say, was that a lot of the mistakes we had made, I thought we had left some of those. You always have 1 or 2. Nobody's perfect, but I thought we had left a lot of those in the dust 2 to 3 weeks ago. And the way we defended in Florida was much different than the way we defended in the second half today. And that's disappointing. That's disappointing. I didn't like our start to the second half. I had a veteran group out there. I did not think we were ready to play on the defensive end at all. That was disappointing as well. So we've got some things to address. We've got a lot of room for improvement. We'll start addressing those things tomorrow and getting ready for a 2 o'clock game on Saturday. Questions for the players?
Mike Thorne's a great player. You can't replace him, but Matt, you got to step up more and be ready to go better than we were today.
It's 2 straight games where it seems like you're struggling to get shots in the second half. Just why do you think that is?
I don't really know how to answer that question. I just take what's given to me. So, it's really all I have to say about that.
Coach Malcolm mentioned that he thought you guys left some of those defensive mistakes in the dust in the past. What's changed? I know you guys maybe felt like you turned the corner in Florida. What changed between there and what happened out there tonight?
I don't know. At first the problem was we had troubles getting starts to games, but I think we did a good job with that. This game is just we need to put the 2 pieces together because our second half start was bad. I think we started off good in the first half. We just have to learn how to build off that.
Reminder, just raise your hand if you're asking questions so you get the mic.
Malcolm, Coach talked about some of the things that you guys need to do a better job of on the defensive end. What do you guys need to go to work to do? What kind of things are you going to be doing before the next game to get those things accomplished?
I just say the 2 main priorities is defensive rebounding and not giving up, catch and shoot threes. So that's the 2 main concepts.
Michael, what'd you think of this crowd tonight?
Oh, it was awesome. Opening up in State Farm Center, sold out or close to. New arena, obviously. Crowd was pretty good. Be there and support us. I just wish we could have given them a win.
Okay, guys. See you tomorrow. Questions?
John, you mentioned a little bit earlier here and then on the radio a little bit that some of these defensive things are going to be addressed. Is there something that you feel like maybe you guys aren't doing as a staff, or is it just the message just isn't getting through to these guys and executing on a game nights?
We're going to have to look at everything at this point, Marcus. Obviously, how we're teaching it. We'll self-evaluate and, they need to do a better job. At some point, it's that old deal of I shared with you guys before the Will Rogers quote, some people learn by listening, seeing, doing, or by peeing on the electric fence. I'm tired of the last one. Next question.
John, I know you're focused on defense, but when you're struggling to get buckets, Malcolm's a guy who can do it. Why do you think he's struggling to get the ball or get the shots open?
I don't know. I mean, obviously they played a lot of zone, Jeremy, in the second half. I mean, a ton of it. Probably 3/4 to 2/3 of the second half. I mean, you got to play basketball, I agree with what he said. You got to take what's there and you got to move the ball. And, we got plenty enough shot makers, and guys that can play offense. And we had some guys tonight that did some good things offensively. I would have liked to have made a few of those shots to start the second half. I thought we really had some great looks in the first 5 minutes, and that could have given us a chance to maybe, we got up 10 and we could have distanced ourselves a little bit more had we made some of those. But, at the end of the day, you have to defend, rebound, and take care of the ball. I always tell them that, to be consistent. Because there's going to be nights maybe not 2 for 18, 3 for 20. That puts a lot of pressure on your defense. But there's going to be nights where you don't make shots, and unfortunately tonight we were exceptional in 2 of the 3 areas. I thought rebounding we were pretty good, and I thought taking care of the ball, obviously, that's great. We were fantastic, But we just didn't guard very well. And part of it is, they're really, really good offensively. We've played 2 of the country's best offensive teams here back-to-back, not only this year, but have been here for a few years. They're really good on offense, so I certainly don't want to take anything away from them. What upsets me is when we make mistakes, game plan, scouting mistakes, system mistakes that shouldn't be made regardless of whether we're playing Notre Dame or somebody else. And I just thought we had more scouting errors tonight maybe than we had combined in the second half, maybe than we had combined in Florida.
Talk a little bit about over here.
Yep.
Malcolm's game a little bit this season. Just has a lot of pressure on him, and even they got a couple of guys back from injury, still a lot really focused on him. Is that getting to him at all?
Yeah, I don't know. You'd have to ask him. He's got broad shoulders. This is what he wants. He wants to be a great player. I think he's got a chance to be a great player. He's obviously done a lot of things for us, rebound, assist, play 1, 2, 3, 4. As soon as you think he may not be playing as much 4, then a guy gets hurt, and I has to play some 4. It's like, so I really appreciate his willingness to be flexible. And, tonight I threw him at the point there against the zone. So, he's got a lot on his plate, but he can handle it. My biggest thing is I want him to get caught up in defending. I didn't think he was on his P's and Q's to start the second half, certainly up to his standard or the one that I have for him.
John, you said on the radio that your guys need to be nastier out there on defense. Is it an attitude thing or?
Oh, no question it is. Yeah.
Or compared to an execution thing?
I think it's both. Yeah, certainly both. Tonight I just thought we made a lot of mistakes. Obviously they wanted to play hard. Effort was not the problem tonight. If you can't play hard in that environment, then you need to go try another sport. It had nothing to do with effort. It had everything to do with execution, focus, maybe not tying, defensive possessions to some shooting woes on the other end. It had to do with more mindset in that regard. But I don't think effort. They wanted to play and they wanted to play hard, and they had a good practice yesterday, and today's shoot around I thought was really good. It wasn't, what I'm trying to get them to understand is they had the will to win as soon as the game started. I knew they would. Who wouldn't in that environment? You play hard, wouldn't you, Top? I mean, in that environment, are you kidding me? I wasn't worried about that. I was more worried about poise and composure, playing within our character, not getting caught up in all the, and I mean this in a positive way, hoopla, which is deservedly so. I mean, arena opener, Coach Henson, they're all fantastic things. But at the end of the day, we got a basketball game to play. And I did think the first half, the hardest part about it is the first half I thought we played really well, both ends of the floor, really, really well. And then for whatever reason, we didn't have it in the second half. And that's, to me, that's a focus thing. That's a focus thing. And that's what I meant by it's partly mindset. And then execution. You gotta do your job, and you gotta do your job well. To run in off of Astoria and beat them is not very smart. I mean, why would you do that 3 or 4 times? It's not the game plan. It's not what we do, and it's just not very smart. We didn't play smart enough, and the execution wasn't good enough.
John, in your first game without Mike Thorne moving forward, do you feel like you found any answers at the 5 tonight, or is that going to be a
offensively, I thought we did some good things at that position. I thought defensively we got to get better. We got to get better. But our guys had the right attitude and mindset the last 2 days. Obviously we had 48 hours or so to try to change some things and wrinkle some things and adapt a little bit. And I thought guys embraced that. Like I said, they wanted to play, and they wanted to play well. But you have to have a will to prepare to win that matches the will to win. And then at the end of the day, you got to execute some things. You just got to do a little, be better with that stuff. The analogy I give them all the time is the bus driver deal about good news, bad news. Good news is we're making great time. I thought we made great time tonight, but bad news on defense, I thought we had no idea what we were doing at times, and that's unacceptable. We were better than that over the weekend. Guys just, I don't know, focus, but we got to make less mistakes than we made tonight at that end.
Coach, you've been speaking of defense a lot. How do you think Kendrick and Jalen have been on that end of the floor since coming back?
They were okay tonight. It's my gut feel. I mean, I'd have to watch the film. We grade out every possession, obviously. My gut feel is they were okay on that end of the floor tonight. Obviously Ken had a tough night shooting the ball. I thought he had great looks. I mean, he's going to make most of those. He just 2 for 11. He's not going to do that very often.
Coach, it seems like you transformed Assembly Hall or State Farm Center from a multi-purpose arena to a basketball court.
Yeah.
Did you notice the atmosphere?
Sure. On Monday when I first got in here, I was astonished at what they had done over just the month. John, I've been in here obviously a lot prior to November 1st for multitudes of reasons, to see the workers or bring a recruit or see the progress. But then when November 1 hit, we had 14 days away from Champaign and hotels and buses and driving and all that. So I never got in the arena basically for the last month until Monday. And I was shocked at how different it looked in just a month. I want to give those guys, man, when I come over here, those construction workers, they work their tail off. I mean, that stuff's hard work, blue collar, they made it happen. So I'm really, appreciative of those guys and gals.
How different of a recruiting advantage is this place now?
Well, I think it's that old, saying that, you have to have, I think the best faith is one, sometimes people that you can be faithful without seeing it. We've been trying to certainly sell that, John, whether it's through videos or bringing them over and showing them intermittent progress and all that. And that's been great. But when you actually see it close to being completely finished, I know we have one more off season, but, I think then it really, kind of like, wow, now it's faith with evidence, and I think that's a good thing, obviously, for all of us.
When you're kind of going through the injuries and you're going through the guy's not playing defense and this guy isn't making shots, how hard is it for you as a staff to figure out who to play? You've had different lineups every game, different sets of minutes. How are you guys struggling to find the right rotation?
If you're asking if we have a set rotation yet, no, we don't. And, do injuries play a part of that? Sure. I mean, I'm not going to lie. I mean, yeah. Absolutely. We've had 2 guys get hurt in the middle of games. I mean, I've never seen anything like that. Like I said the other day, and we'll figure it out. You know, we will. And we'll keep getting better. And I like our young guys, and they've got to make less mistakes. And our newcomers, I like them. They got to make less mistakes. But, you know, at the same time, I'm not dodging the fact that I think, you know, what we've went through with Mike, et cetera, I mean, it's unprecedented. I mean, I've never seen anything like it. But it's part of it. It's given to us for a reason, and we've got to tackle it head on.
Coach, going off of that, you talked about needing defensive stops, and a guy like Alex Austin played 22 minutes despite offensive struggles. You feel like that's why he played compared to Aaron Jordan only playing 4 minutes?
There's no question that Alex Austin plays because he defends. That's that simple. You know, he's our best perimeter defender. He understands what he's doing at that end of the floor. He did make a mistake on Beecham tonight, but he doesn't make a lot of them. He takes care of the ball, and he usually blocks out and contributes on the glass. So, you know, Alex is the epitome of a, you know, Stan Van Gundy told me one time it's a mistake to play mistake players. You know, Alex is the epitome of the opposite of that. You know, like he necessarily hasn't shot the ball up to his standards thus far through the season, but he plays point blank because he defends, he contributes in rebounding, and he takes care of the ball. And I know that when I put him on the floor or when he practices, he's going to do those 3 things. And that there's no question that's the reason why he's playing.
John, you mentioned bringing recruits into the building. Bruce Weber maybe had his most successful recruiting period here when he was having his worst season on the court. And I'm wondering how you can make it a positive by selling things to recruits when you're having less success on them.
Yeah, I mean, I think, you know, Rob, to be honest with you, I think people are pretty smart. You know, they see who we have. They see what's happened with some injuries. They understand that, you know, I mean, Abrams is pretty good and Thorne's pretty good, and they're sitting over there in jeans, you know. I mean, they get it. I mean, obviously we're excited about who we're bringing in with Tijon and Kipper, and we've continued to stack classes. And I think even more so here lately in the last, you know, 3 or 4 here, we've stacked not only talent, but we've stacked good, really high character guys. So that part's good. I think continuing to stack classes is important, and then getting healthy. You know, like I said, I mean, you know, everybody has stuff every once in a while, or a guy in a given year or 2 or whatever. But, you know, we've dealt with an abnormal amount. For whatever reason, it's been thrown our way. You know, I trust the Lord that it's been thrown our way for a reason. And we've got to figure out how that can make us better and continue to make progress moving forward. But, you know, people know. And I like our guys. I mean, again, I'm disappointed with the way we defended, but I like our guys. I do think they care. We're just not very good on that end of the floor right now, and we've got to get a lot better.